wasn't reasonable. Like, I don't fucking know you from a hole in the wall. Like, why am I gonna, it's not gonna be a yes for you. Like, come on now.
Right.
You
Dude,
know, I've
dude,
frustrated some of them.
check out the picture I sent you, the cartoon I sent you.
Like, this may make no sense to you, but like at the same time, like I've dated women before, whatever,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, you know, I'm just not sure about them, and I'm just not ready to like move things forward. And I won't sleep with them, and they'll sleep over my house, and they'll be confused. And
Right.
I'm like, I like to do that sometimes, just one time, just to at least, you know, let them know where my
Oh
intentions
yeah.
actually are. And then like, if you, here's the thing, if it gets to a holiday, a birthday, or just any kind of shit like that, and you don't acknowledge them first ahead of time in advance, and like,
Right.
oh, call them up and, well, you know, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, and all the shit, whatever. They make a big fucking deal about it. But Valentine's Day will go by and you will not be acknowledged at all. Like, you'll be dead to them. And I'm like, how the fuck are we dating if I'm dead to you on Valentine's Day? But then you bitch at me about, you know, not calling you on Christmas. Like, fuck you. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's a
Yeah,
total
I
double
know.
standard. And so when the weird thing, when they end up deciding to um, break up or whatever, you know, they're expecting you to chase them, and then I don't. I'm like, nah, you can keep fucking walking. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't do double standards.
I know.
That
I know.
shit belongs in the trash. I don't do double standards. Not gonna chase,
Exactly.
not gonna beg, not gonna play this little fucking game where it's like, you know, got to hold them up on a pedestal and spend a bunch of money on them, make them feel all great and special, and then like, what do they do in return? Nothing. And they say it's because they get so much attention that they don't put effort into anything in their life, and they just become nothing. They just sit there like a vegetable
Right.
because they've never had to develop anything. No personality, no skill, no trait, no. They haven't had to do shit, so they don't do shit.
Right.
And I'm like,
Exactly.
well, and they explain that like the reason that men want to sleep with them and not want to be in a relationship with them is because they're boring as fuck. They're not feminine. They're not interesting at all. They have no hobbies, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't have fun with it. It's not like they're going to go out and ride four wheelers and crack jokes with you, you know, and have a drink and go jet ski and you know what I mean? Like, they're not
Yeah.
funny. They're not fun. It's just they only have one thing to offer. That's not your fault. That's their fault. They haven't developed any fucking interesting hobbies or personality. So it's like,
Well,
well,
the
why the
thing
fuck
is,
would
dude,
anybody want to be there?
that one thing that they have to offer, they don't give it to you.
Well, they think that holding that out will keep your interest, and that's not how it works.
Right.
Like, your
Exactly.
interest in that is only going to be for a moment, and then they try to like, it's like you're trying to sell a PlayStation, and it's worth $500, and you try to sell it for like $1,000. People look at you like you're fucking high, and then they walk past you,
Yeah.
and they just don't buy it. Period. They just go,
Right.
fuck it. I guess I didn't need it because it's overpriced. Like, it's not worth what you're paying. You know what I mean?
A
Like, why
hundred
are you going to
percent.
spend $100 on a fucking meal with them when all you're getting is their time? So they're saying you have to pay for my time. If I have to pay for your time, you're a whore. You know what I mean?
But dude, the thing
And
is,
and why is it my time is for the most part my time is more valuable than theirs most of the time, depending on, you know, what's going on, you know. But a lot of
well,
the times
of
in most
course,
guys, their
because you're
time is,
actually going out there and providing society with work.
well, they say
They
that they
call
put in
out
their
of
effort.
work. Do you
They're
realize
saying they
men,
put the,
dude, check it
yeah,
out.
they call out a lot.
Dude, check it out. They've done studies on this that the majority of women that are in the workforce call out of work significantly more than men do. Men are there
Oh yeah.
between 40 and 80 hours a week. Okay. Women are there on average like
Well,
35.
the weird thing is they don't really want to work. They want to sit
They
home and
don't
cook
want to
and
work.
clean. The thing is that society tells them not to stay home and cook and clean. Society tells them to go to work. And I say,
Right.
it's fine. Hey, you do whatever works for you. I don't give a fuck. But like,
Yeah.
if you're doing what works for you and you ain't happy with it, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like if you want to stay home and cook and clean and that makes you happy, do that. If you want to go to work and that makes you happy, do that. But don't
Right.
like stay home and cook and clean and bitch about it, or go to work and then bitch about it. Like, it makes no sense. It's like they're
Yes.
allowing society's programming to infiltrate their brain and reprogram them, and then they don't even agree with it, but they won't do anything to fucking change it.
Well, the thing is, man, like I feel like unless you're willing to pay for the sex directly, it's just not even worth it to go on
I
a
mean,
date with them
you're
because, dude, when you go on a date, especially to like high end restaurants that they claim they want to be taken to these really fancy ass restaurants and put on a helicopter and show, be given a tour of the
well,
city. And dude, it's
that's
like
what
once you
Disney
do
shows.
that, but dude, once you go above and beyond to do
Then
that
you have
for
to go
them,
higher. You have to go higher each time
not only that, but then they don't put out. They
because
actually
they don't
don't put
want
out
to.
when you do all that. So you're like, okay, I'll agree with you and freaking do all this cool shit for you on the first date. But guess what? You don't get laid on the first date when you go above and beyond. So the guys who are actually getting laid are the guys who are not doing shit for them. So they're like,
Well,
oh,
it's. Yeah, I mean, the guys that are actually getting laid, generally speaking, are the ones that are putting on a lot of muscle, because for whatever reason it is, and there's been a long debate of do women go after money or muscle? Well, it depends. They use people for money. They go after muscle for sex. So if you got the muscle, they'll give you the sex. If you got the money, they'll use you for your money. You won't get no sex. That's just the way
yeah,
it is. Even people in my family that are twice my age don't seem to comprehend that this is how shit fucking works.
right, right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there have
yeah,
been there have been many people, many gold diggers who went after a guy that had money, and he was like really rich and Asian, and Asians don't do well with women and whatever, but he was really wealthy and Asian and had the money and didn't have any muscle, and she just went after his money, and she didn't give him shit. And then this black dude shows up, you know, almost 7 feet tall, totally ripped, bench pressing,
yeah,
fucking 400 pounds, and she sleeps with him like literally the same day she fucking meets him. Like
yeah,
what they want, right? So
yeah,
it's like it's not you know people just don't understand the difference. Like,
yeah.
and they might go for, I don't know. Everybody I know who's actually gotten married and stayed married actually never went on a date with their spouse. They didn't do any dates. They were
Exactly.
they were friends. I know
Yeah.
it sounds weird because people hate the friend zone, but the fact that they didn't have to pay for their time meant they valued each other's time equally,
Correct. Correct. That's
and nobody had
why.
to pay for anything. Like nobody was paying for
Yes.
anybody's time.
But dude,
So there wasn't.
that's exactly why if I'm advising guys to like date women, you don't actually take them on a date. You just ask them to hang out, and they'll give you pushback. They'll be like, "Well, I don't come over on the first date. I'm not I
Well,
don't feel
the other
safe."
advice
And
is that, yeah, they say, yeah, you give them the one, and when it's not being reciprocated, you
yeah,
just end it and shut them off immediately. Because I
correct.
mean, it shows you
Correct.
exactly who you're dealing with real quick.
Correct, because if you give a girl an inch, she'll take a mile. So if you say, "Hey, let me take you out here to this real fancy restaurant here in town. It's up on the rooftop, and they got real nice wine, and it's candlelight dinner, and dinner's going to cost you $1,000, dude. Guess what she's going to expect the next time? And then on top of that, she's not going to give you sex that night. Just be aware. And then she's going to expect date number 2 to be at a similar or better location. And then she's going to drag it on for 4 more dates. And guess what? By date number 4, you're going to realize she's a waste of time and she's an egghead. And it's like, the guy that she's going home with and having sex with is the guy that's like, hey, you want to come over and smoke a blunt with me? You want to come over and we could Netflix and chill, And she'll be like, oh, this guy's going to get my vagina tonight. And I know it's going to be a good time. And you're like,
Yeah,
that guy didn't deserve to have sex with you. The other guy did.
yeah,
He
but I
spent
mean,
like $3,000 on you.
but
He deserves the sex. What the hell are you
well,
doing?
yeah, but the thing is like they've even admitted this, that if they can't get upper 10% Chad, they
Yeah.
will hold out for Chad indefinitely, and they'll just all that. Think about this. Think about putting yourself through the situation of I only sleep with models, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to sleep with anyone other than models, right? And I'm not going to do anything by myself because that's not what they do, right?
Right.
So you just got all this pent up stuff, right?
Right.
And then as soon as they get anywhere near anybody who's remotely, in good physical health, that's the one who's going to get it.
Yeah, because
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 they've been
you know
they
what the
starve
definition.
themselves, and they starve themselves until somebody in good physical conditioning is around at the right time,
Correct.
the right time, the right place. It's like a fucking Las Vegas casino. I mean, you know what I mean? Timing and
Yeah.
time and place. Time
Well,
and place.
dude, like I've said this before that society's evaluation of what a high quality man is kind of skewed. It's wrong. They'll be like, oh,
Well,
if you're
yeah,
successful and rich, you're a high quality guy, and that's not
they
true.
go for success.
Women,
We go for beauty.
they
Yeah.
exactly. So really, if you compare two men, one's successful but ugly, and the other is poor but attractive, the high value guy is actually the poor guy who's attractive in the eyes of a woman. She's going to go for the guy that's got muscles and tattoos and shit like that. She's going to
I
go
mean,
for that guy.
she's only gonna go for him. Like, she's mostly gonna go for him because of a couple of things. One, like she sees it as like if you can protect them, and if you can protect them because you're big and strong,
Yeah.
then they want to sleep with you. I don't know. It's just
Well,
the way it is.
exactly. Well,
But
it's kind of
it
the
doesn't
same
guarantee
way.
they're gonna stay.
But dude, I mean, think about it. I mean, in our case as men, okay, like who are we going to bed? Are we going to bed the girl who is a career woman? She's got a lot of money and she's got a lot of clout and fame, but
Yeah,
she's
but
not that attractive. Maybe she's a little overweight. Are we going to go with the girl who don't have shit going for her? She doesn't really have a good job. Maybe she works at McDonald's, but freaking, she's got a banging body. She's sexy. She's pretty. She's got all the right features. Dude,
probably
I'm
that
going
one.
for the girl who doesn't have shit going for her. You know why? Because she looks better and she might need me, as opposed to the career woman who does everything for herself and like has an ego and freaking
Oh
wants you to
yeah.
take her out on
Well,
fancy
well,
dates and
well.
shit. Forget
You
that,
know,
dude.
they just become like super masculine though. They're like,
Yeah.
they'll be like, I have my own house and my own job and a college degree and all this, and then they'll like get a pickup truck and they'll start wearing t-shirt and jeans and like cutting their hair short. And I'm like, what the fuck? and then they'll be like, I only date men that are 6'7" and have six-figure salaries. I'm like, I don't think you're in any position to fucking
Yeah.
be saying any of that.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you
I'm
can
like,
really, dude, there's one strategy I think is very good for
they're
men
just
who are not
delusional.
6'7", dude. Like the one strategy that men do have that's a high advantage, especially if you're not the most attractive or tall or good looking or big dick, is if you offer them money directly and just say, hey, I'll give you $300 for 30 minutes of your time, and just be like, and just say screw it. You just go for the gold. You go for the honeypot. And if you do it that way with regular women, not prostitutes, like you will probably have better success than actually saying, hey, let's go out to dinner here at this nice fancy restaurant that you have no interest in betting me afterwards. And then you end up spending more money that way than you do freaking just paying for it directly. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really see it as that, have to be with any of them, because I kind of see it as the world's a big place. Like, why isolate yourself to any one race or gender, and just why give a fuck? Because
Well, I mean,
the more hungry and the more thirsty and the more desperate you become, the more you repel everybody like a poison.
100% agreed. That's
So
why,
you
dude.
just can't give a fuck.
That's it. I mean, that's why I don't give a shit. It's like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's not a big deal. It's not like I'm gonna.
Yeah, and with that mentality, you're probably 3 times more likely to get it.
Correct. And that's, dude. That's why.
It's strange, but you've seen the pizza guy who showed up, and he just didn't give a fuck, and she took him right to her bedroom as he was delivering pizza. Like, what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think he'd be so carefree and confident at the same time, and just because it's not the highest earning job in the world, but he didn't give a fuck. Like, nothing was going to bring him down.
It doesn't matter, dude. It's like, really what they have to offer, especially if you're an independent guy and you got shit going for you. Like, what do you really need a woman for other than
I
her
mean,
vagina? I mean, that's
the
really
problem
it.
is like they could have stuff going for them, but they just choose not to. Like they could be somebody that you'd want to be around, you know, if they were willing
Yeah.
to, I don't know, pay some bills, do some chores, be funny, be fun, shit like that. You might want to
Well,
stick around
plus
a while.
don't
They
and
don't want to do any of that.
plus the biggest factor that turns men off is the fact that they have endless amounts of friends that are that are males. You know, like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, and then they want you to be your friend and listen to their little sob stories about their crush didn't work out and shit like that. And you're like, I don't want to listen to you talk about some big dick Bobby over here or little dick Johnny over here that you had a crush on and it didn't work out. I don't want to hear about that shit. Like, I just want to freaking talk about what we did today and let's talk about positive things
Yeah.
other than your stupid ass love life and romantic life that didn't work out for you. Like,
Oh, they
because
want you to sit there and listen to their stuff.
yeah, they want you to be the shoulder to cry on, and
Not doing that.
you know, and I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm sorry, we can't be friends.
Yeah,
I
because
just
that's no, because that's they're confusing. They're blurring the lines over here. You know, it's like they want to
yeah
get everything and for nothing. And it's like, no, you get that shit in a relationship. You don't get that out of your friends. So
yeah
it's you know, and then if they want to have a relationship, they're gonna have to put out. So it's a package deal. It's all or none.
yes correct.
You don't
And
get to
that
pick and choose. Like you know,
exactly. And my thing is, you know, if a girl wants all these things out of me, she's got to pay for it with her vagina.
she got
I
to do
mean,
something.
she's got to
Man.
put
She got
out.
to do something.
She's got to put out. I mean, just point blank.
That's
I'm
like
not gonna.
minimum requirements, though. That's like
Yeah,
minimum requirements. They're always
yeah.
trying to do the shit. Well, oh, what if I just cook? Yeah, no, I can get
No.
food anywhere. Obviously,
Yeah,
I
and
could
we're not
get
going to be friends.
food down.
You're not gonna pour your life story on me and tell me about how shit is going bad for you. And no, I don't need to hear that shit. I don't
Well,
care.
well, I had two different relationships that lasted, you know, over a year and years, and it was two different approaches. They seem to just think that everybody has to fit in a category, and that's not how it works. You know,
Yeah,
especially for me. And so one of them just kept cooking for me all the time, thinking that I would want to marry them because of them cooking for me. There's no fucking chance of that happening.
right.
The other one just kept, you know, giving me sex all the time, thinking I would want to marry them over that. That's not fucking happening because neither of those two things are actually that valuable to me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
Like you either
because
like the
yeah,
person who they are and are compatible and you think the same, you click, you vibe and all that shit, or you don't.
yeah.
And if you don't, that's cool. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter.
Yeah, 100%,
But
man.
they try to change you like you need to be like them. I don't want to be like them. Fuck that bullshit. No, I'm me. And I ain't changing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, man. Yeah,
Like if
and plus,
somebody
dude, I mean, as a guy, I have too much to lose to freaking be fully invested in women. I'm just like, I've got
like
my
that's a
own
red flag of a
house.
problem anyways. Like that's a
Yeah,
red flag of a problem anyways. You know, some chicks like, you know, you're dating her and you live in a neighborhood that's kind of dangerous and she can't deal with that and she got to go. Somebody else will come replace her.
well, exactly. And if they have a problem with it, it's like, well, we can go to your house. You know, you have probably a nice pad that you got from a recent divorce, and we can probably hang out at your
Yeah.
house, right? And it's like, oh, no, we can't do that. And it's like, why not? And they won't tell you it's because they've got some dude that they're living with.
Yeah,
And
but like they come in, they want to change fucking everything, and they bitch about everything. It's like, oh, I don't like the couch, I don't like the bed, I don't like this, I don't like that. Well, you know, these are the things that I like that I spent a lot of money on,
yeah,
and technically they're better than the kind of things you want to replace them with.
exactly. And
You know what I
dude,
mean? Like,
yeah, and you know, and this is the lesson I've learned is like the women that are actually down for me are gonna ride with me whether I'm in a beat up ugly car or in a sports car. It doesn't matter.
yeah, it's like if you were to get a motorcycle, and they were to like demand that you don't have a motorcycle, I'd be like, you need to hit the fucking road because that's what I'm doing. It's not a debate,
Yeah, it's not
you
up for
know?
debate. Yep.
No, like
Yeah.
you don't come into somebody's life and then see them for what they are and try to change it all. Like, what the fuck? No, you
Right.
need to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Of
you
course.
date them and like you're playing video games and they're like, I don't like video games. Well, then you can get the fuck out.
Right. I
That's what I'm
mean,
doing.
it's not up for negotiation. You know, if the standard
No,
price for to be my wife is to
you are what you are.
yeah. No, it's like this. This is the standard to be my wife. Number 1, we must get along. Number 2, you must put out. And number 3, I have to prove you to make sure that you're going to not screw me over and take everything I have. And then
Well, a lot of them,
we can make it official.
what they're doing now is they're cheating on their husbands, and then they're filing for divorce like immediately after they cheat,
yeah.
so before they get caught, right?
Yeah.
Before they get caught, they're trying to like quickly speed the process. Like, "Who I got away with cheating? Oh yeah!" And then they're trying to quickly get a divorce before anyone finds out that they were cheating and having an affair.
That's terrible.
And they want to keep it all secretive. It's fucked up, but it's what they're doing nowadays more and more.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel like they're wrong, because they're justifying themselves and their friends are justifying them as well. So they're like, well, everyone says I'm right. What can I do?
I know, man. And that's the thing is like they go where the truth is hidden. It's like, let me ask my friend who's got my back.
Well, they go with who's going to be agreeable and they go with who's agreeable en masse.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't go to like maybe their dad and say, "Hey, Dad,
what do you think I should
do? What do you think I should do about this situation with my husband?" You know, and old-fashioned parents are going to be like, "You need to work it out." What do you mean? And you know, but another problem that's been going on lately in our modern society is freaking chicks will get knocked up by the side dude and then have the main guy, like their husband, raise the child, and he has no clue.
Well,
he's got no
clue. It's his, and then she doesn't do. Neither one of them do a DNA test. So they're like, well, I guess. I mean, he's thinking she's the only one he slept with. Meanwhile, she slept with like 10 dudes.
It's like, and that child,
what,
and that child is the result of a gangbang that she just had. Like, come on, it's terrible, dude. It's terrible.
I'm just saying 10 dudes maybe within a 6-month period, but I mean, not mentioning the over 100 that they have.
Oh my gosh.
You know, over the last, a couple years, which, 100's a big number, but over a few years, that's a really big fucking number.
Well, what do you think is, I mean, I've done some research and looked it up. Like they said that the average man has a lay count of like 3 or 4 in his lifetime. And then they try to mask the truth and say, "Oh, women are the same way. Their lay count's about 3 or 4." And it's like,
no,
I don't think that's accurate, because
I think it's more like 10 for men and 100 for females.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, because
but they hide the number like a motherfucker. They hide it like their life depends on it.
Because, dude, what they can do is what guys don't realize is that a girl,
they don't want to change.
If she's in like a financial bind, she could go to, let's say she lives in Miami, she could go up to Atlanta and get a room that night and have 100 men in one day. 100 men rotate through and prostitute with them and make over like $3,000 in one night from 100 men. Like, they don't realize that shit.
Not right.
It's nuts. I mean, but dude, men are empowering women to do this bullshit, and they're putting up with it.
It's because this is like a big I don't know, it's like a big psychological propaganda bullshit that's going on. It's like this, they created this like this double standard and this constant war between men and women right now.
Yeah.
And it's a power struggle, and they don't understand that like any household where the man is not in charge is a household that will fail.
Yeah.
That's always been the case.
100%. But you know what? The household is almost non-existent for 50%.
The weird part is it's not the weird part is it's not the guys that are opting out. They're like, hey, they're cool with it either way, but it's the women that are opting out. Like, they're deciding to go against nature, and then instead of getting mad at themselves, they get mad at at the man for being agreeable. It's like they want to fight with you
Yeah.
and create this war with you, and then they want to, like two men competing to be the most masculine one at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going wrong with their head?
Right.
Like, what guy wants that? What guy honestly wants that?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And then, they don't understand that, like, there was this woman, right? She was 40 years old. She wanted to prove to her daughter that she was stronger than men, physically stronger than men, and could outlift them. This is what she did. This crazy, stupid bitch. She decided she was going to put 400 pounds on a deadlift, and I believe her spine collapsed, and the thing landed on her neck, and it killed her instantly.
Oh
right in
my
front of her.
gosh.
Her child watched her die right there. Because she wanted to prove to her daughter that women are stronger than men. They have more muscle than men, and they're stronger, and they can lift more because they're better. And she died.
That's I mean, how are you that
Like,
delusional?
what the fuck,
How are you
man?
that
Like,
how are you that
that's,
delusional?
I don't know. I mean, there's some people that they drink the Kool-Aid. Man, they drink that Kool-Aid like it's like the essence of the cleanest water on earth, and they just can't get enough.
That's terrible. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Like, in what world would that ever be the case?
Yeah.
They even do these boxing matches and the MMA matches because women are like, oh, I can take you, I can take you, I can take you, and they're like, all right, well, even in the military, they decided, you know what, fuck it. I'm tired of this talking. I'm tired of hearing all this bullshit flopping out your mouth. Let's just take it to action.
Right.
No more talk. Let's just do it.
Right.
And it's brutal. It's brutal. They pick like some of the weakest guys they have against these women, and they absolutely destroy them in combat. Like, Jesus. They think, oh, man, this guy's skinny. I could beat him up. I'm tough. I'm tougher than men. Yeah, I don't think so. That guy plowed her over like she was nothing.
Well, I mean, this just proves a point that, guys need to take control of whatever. First, they need to take control of their life. Like, dude, when you let women walk all over you, or you let them dictate shit and let them have the power and the control in the situation, then you're
like
asking for bullshit to come your way. I mean, if I was to do it all over again in my 20s, I would have accumulated my wealth first and got it all on my own. And then at that point, I could have decided, do I want to get married or not? Do I want to take the risk of having kids and, being on child support or not?
Yeah.
I could have made an educated decision. And if in the worst possible situation, if I did get put on child support, guess what? It would not have affected me because I would have already built my wealth. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, you can take half my paycheck, which at that point I would have gotten a shitty job. And yeah, take $300 a month. I don't care. Have the kids. Go live your life, and then I can just move on like easy breezy, no problem. And then it wouldn't have affected my life. You know what I mean? So, because when you deal with these chicks, you're taking a huge gamble that they're not going to cheat on you, that they're going to be faithful, and that they're going to respect you, and that they're not going to shit on you and take the kids. But unfortunately, it's
there should be
50-50 chance.
There should be some sort of reasonable middle ground on things, but it seems like they want to put everything to some sort of an extreme.
Of course, because they want all the benefits of marriage without doing their part, which is putting out. Yeah,
but they don't even. I mean, they don't even have to put out like that much.
They don't even have to put out that much. What's once a week or twice a month? Like, you can lay on your back for 5-10 minutes twice a month, 3 times a month. Like, how does that affect you?
It's the culture that we live in today. And people they're looking at it as what can I get without having to give anything back in return. It's like the fucked up mentality that's going around right now. Yeah. And it's just the situation with them is I hate to say it, but you compare them to like children. If you let a child like run amok, they'll do so until you shut it down. I mean, you have kids, you know what it's like.
Absolutely.
If you let them get out of control, they won't stop until you shut it down. They're the same way.
Well, they toe the line. And just be like, oh, I wonder what I could do with this guy. And also, and they'll exploit your weaknesses. So if you tell
Well,
them
I
your
mean,
secrets,
it's
if you tell them your
yeah.
secrets and you share your feelings, like maybe you're vulnerable with them, they will exploit that and use it against you. And then they won't respect you. And they're like, "You're not a man. You're not a man. You're a pussy. You're a bitch." And it's like, no, you're the bitch. I'm just going through a hard
Yeah.
time. Suck my
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah. There's. I mean, well, the difference is that they can say they're independent, yet they always are always leaning on somebody, whether it be a guy or a friend, or it's either they're leaning on like five other women or one guy or
Yeah.
whatever for support. So there's no independence there. It never existed, right? If they
Right.
get independent, it doesn't happen till after 40 years old, if at all.
Right.
And then it's like they don't know what independence is. Like try living, your entire life, tens of years where you have to depend on yourself because nobody does shit to
Nobody
help
does
you.
shit for you, and nobody
No,
tells you
they
how.
never do.
Yeah. The only handouts you get as a man is if you hold up a brown sign saying "God bless you" on the side of the road. Those are the only handouts you get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is they want you to have a double standard and feel bad for them in the minor things they go through, and then
Yeah.
when you go through major things, well, fuck you, it's whatever. It's just
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. You're supposed to take it. You're a man enough. You're strong enough. You need to take it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude.
Then they want to be more of a man than you and think that you're going to be attracted to that. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Right. Right. When they're working less than 40 hours a week,
No,
calling
I'm
out
sorry,
every
but
Friday, like really get out of here.
like if you walking around and you have like shoulders back in wide stance and you just sprawling out,
Yeah.
with legs and arms open and just saying bro and like no, that ain't gonna work. You can go. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
I
yeah.
see this is a crazy thing. I see women that come from like foreign countries, right? And they show up to this country and they're always wearing like dresses and skirts and everything, right?
Right.
And they're always like well spoken and polite and shit like that.
Right.
I'm like, that works. But
Yeah.
the shit that American women do does not work. Like nobody wants no bro.
Dude, there was a what was a there was an episode, I think it was wasn't 90 Day Fiance. It was one of those type shows. But anyways, like the chick gets engaged and married to the guy in Nigeria, right? So it's a white lady, and she's like she's obese, bro. She's huge, and like she gets married to this Nigerian. I thought he was doing her a favor by marrying that girl, but dude, he married her. Plus, she was over the age of 40. Over the age of 40,
I
he
mean, hey,
marries
whatever
her,
you want.
right? And then so he comes back to America, and he's a masculine type guy. So he's like, you need to respect me, and she's like literally disrespecting him to his face, calling like I think she was abusing him too, like slapping him and shit. And then
No,
like
fuck that.
they got his I guess it was his mother on the phone with him, like a video call. And the mom was like, "You need to respect your husband." And the wife just starts going off on the mother, calling her a bitch. Don't ever tell me what to do.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
not gonna work.
are you high? Are you nuts? Like this is how you think you're gonna get the things in life that you want? Really? You're just gonna be like fully disrespectful to your husband. You're gonna just tell his mom, go screw yourself. Don't tell me how to live my life. That's what you think works. This guy left his country to be with you, with your fat ass. Like, you don't even deserve a husband, to be honest. Like, any man that has sex with you should treat you like a cum dump. Honestly.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that they've been trying this thing lately where they try to disrespect the guy's mother, on like YouTube or whatever, and they
Yeah.
notice that whenever they do it to a guy that's black, he shuts that shit fucking down. He's like,
Yeah.
no. He's like, you ain't never gonna talk to my mother again like that. You can get out of my car.
That's
We're
because,
done.
dude, that's because white culture has become a bunch of pussies and freaking bitches They'll just be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. I love her. This is the woman of my dreams, and she's the only one that I can get. And it's okay that she disrespects my mother and my family and tells me not to talk to my brother or sister like, dude, you are putting up with a horrible manipulator and abuser, and you're letting her talk to your family any old kind of way. I tell you what, if that was me, I would tell her get out of my house or take the house. I don't give a shit. One or the other, we're not going to be together. Put me on child support, suck my dick. I'm going on to the next one. I'm not putting up with that. Like, straight up. You're not going to talk to my family and disrespect my family. So,
Do you think that, like, do you think this will go on for much longer?
no, because guys always come out on top. It's a man's world, bro. Men are going to freaking figure it out and be like, nah. I mean, just look at the black community. You think the black community is putting up with their bullshit? You think
Not at
black
all.
men are No, of course not. You know why? Because they figured it out. They're like, I can get pussy at any time that I want. I know I'm a good looking guy. I know what I've got going for me. Why am I going to put up with this? You know, you're a woman. You're not special. You know how many women are in the world? There's what, 7 billion people on Earth. Half of them are women. Okay,
Yeah.
go on to the next one. But white culture, it's like we're like, oh yeah, we'll put up with this. This is fine. Dude,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Well, you know what it is. I mean, so it's like everybody attacks whoever they think they can get away with, right? Like you never see a bully pick on another strong
Another tough
person.
person. Yeah.
No. They always look for whatever's going to be the easiest target, right? So they test this out, and they're like, oh well, there have been many that have been disadvantaged based on different race, religion, and gender or whatnot, right? But it's like currently nowadays, the reason that they pick on white guys so much is that
They're
they're
pushovers.
not pushing back.
Yeah,
They're just
pushovers.
like, fuck it, whatever. So the fact that they're not pushing back, they're like, well, fuck it. That's a group, because it's always this thing with humans is that they always look to, everybody wants to be on top and push somebody down to the bottom, and it's like whoever's not going to push back, they're going to push down.
Right. And I feel like white guys, they rely on their success and their money to keep women. It's like, dude, your money doesn't mean shit to women. I mean, they don't need your money. You know how many guys they can get.
Yeah.
You know how many guys women could get money from? They have at least 20 dudes in their phone they can hit up and play damsel in distress and get $100 for that day. Like,
right.
They don't need your money. They can get money at any given time. And it's like white men just assume, oh, I've got money. Oh, I'm successful. But it's like you have no backbone, man. Like, you don't know how to stand up to this bullshit. Like, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, they got to see you stand up for yourself, and they got to see you stand up for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you got no chance.
Exactly. And she's just going to go get hammered out by the guy that she respects. The guy that doesn't. Yeah, I mean, she's just.
Yeah, but I mean, she respects him because she also sees him as somebody that's like fearful, dangerous. Like, that's the kind of person that's not going to put up with shit. Like, if shit's going down, they're not going to be hiding and running away, and you know what I mean? They're going to stand their fucking ground and shut it down.
Yeah, exactly.